Perfect. So what I want to do is help everyone stay healthy, happy, and productive in this time of self-isolation. Um, uh, there's an interesting point. I'd like to start with a meditation and just get everybody grounded and in a good place. This will also give everybody a minute to join us if anybody's coming late. So if you could just sit with your feet on the ground, rest your hands on your legs, find a comfortable place, begin to slowly ease yourself into a relaxed pose, good posture, and start taking deep breaths in. We're going to breathe into the count of 4, hold for 2, and then out for 4. And let's do 10 breaths together. So breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, out, 2, 3, 4, in, hold, and exhale. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in positive energy, exhaling negativity. Let's take 2 more breaths in, hold, and out. Last one, in, and exhale. So I wanted to share an interesting statistic with you. I know everybody's challenged right now, but the truth is we have all won the biological lottery. The odds that you exist right now are truly astronomical. Let's take out of account the fact that our planet had to be exactly the right distance from the sun. Let's take all of the different religions and beliefs out of it. Let's even take all of the different generations to get to your parents. And let's even take the fact that when you were born, there were probably 6 billion people on this planet and they had to find each other. But even once your mom and dad found each other, the odds that you exist are 1 in 250 trillion. Your mother was born with about 1 to 2 million eggs, and your father 250 million sperm. So the fact that those align perfectly for you to exist is an astronomical miracle. And the reason that I share this with you is we have such a gift with this life. We all have such capacity and potential, and it's up to us whether or not we reach that potential. I think that there are a few different ways that people could emerge from self-isolation, and I want to make sure that when I emerge from self-isolation, I don't look like this guy here. I want to emerge from self-isolation transformed into a better version of myself. And what we're going to do in the workshop today is give you some of the tools, tips, and techniques that we've developed to help make that come to fruition. So there's 3 things that we all need to be doing right now. The first is mindfulness. And I'm going to share with you Warren Rustan's 10-10-10 morning routine to make sure that everybody is in the right mindset when you get started for your day. The next thing that we all need to be essentially critical on is our health. And our health is our diet and making sure that we get some form of movement. Oh, I just got noticed that I'm not sharing the slide deck with you guys. So I should change that. My apologies. Thank you for the text, Adam. Those other elements would have been much more impactful if I'd actually had the screen going. So my apologies there. Share. Ah, you're killing me, bro. There we go. So that was the slide you should have looked at where we're doing the meditation. This is a slide that showed you how special you are. You're 1 in 250 trillion. And this is the slide where I said, I don't want to be this guy when I come out of self-isolation. It'll be much funnier if you're actually looking at the photo. The 3 things we all need to do. We talked about mindfulness. We're going to get into Warren Rustan's 10-10-10, so you can see that. But health, that is diet and movement. So that's what you put in your body and what you do to your body. I know a lot of people are really struggling, especially here in Colorado. We are definitely an outdoor culture, but there are ways that you can find, whether that's jump rope, bands, yoga, even going outside in your backyard or just walking around your house. It's essential that you do have some sort of movement every single day. And then the other thing that a lot of us are struggling on is making sure we get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I've actually got a technique. It's the same breath work that we did when we started our meditation. If you struggle to sleep, like so many of us do, including myself in this current situation from time to time, what you want to do is just lie on your back, try to calm every part of your body, and do that same breath work. 4 breaths in, 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it for 2 seconds, and then exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. I would even advocate that you count your breaths in and count the seconds out. And if you do this for a little while, I promise you, you'll be amazed at how quickly this will help relax you and put you to sleep. And the truth is, even if you don't get to sleep, just laying there and letting your body relax and reset and rejuvenate is going to be incredibly helpful. So the three things that I would like all of you to do is mindfulness, be very aware of your health, and make sure you get enough sleep in this time. So many of you know Warren Restan. He's a personal hero of mine, and he's got a morning routine called the 10-10-10. The 10-10-10 is 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of reading, and 10 minutes of journaling. Many people refer to this as the beautiful morning or the perfect morning. This really sets you up to have success for your day. The benefits of all of these different activities compound on themselves. So the meditation is going to help you focus. It's going to inspire creative thought. It will help you with problem solving, and it will clear your mind and reduce stress. Then you get into reading. Reading is going to help your memory with retention. It's also going to inspire problem solving or creative thought, and you're going to continue to grow. And then finally, with your journaling, I would advocate the same way Warren does. You're writing something positive. It's a free flow of consciousness. I would say 10 minutes, you could create about 2 pages. And this is just, it could be doodles, it could be anything. But imagine that your grandchildren are going to read the journal when you're done. So don't write in there how pissed you are that this person screwed you or that your partner did this to you. Try to journal positive things to set yourself up for the perfect morning. Um, I know most of us on this call probably start and end your day with this. This is a habit. If you take nothing away from this workshop, this is the one habit that I'd like you to break. This is something that I was really advocating for people to stop doing pre self-isolation for many reasons. It's bad for your sleep. It's bad for your mental health. The reason I chose this stock photo is the blue light that you see there. The blue light that comes off of screens, whether that's a television, your laptop, or your phone or your tablet, actually prohibits or reduces your brain's ability to create melatonin, and that helps you fall asleep. So there's a reason that we've evolved into this way, and that light has an impact on us. So when you are keeping your phone on, that blue light is actually prohibiting that from happening. It's making it harder for you to fall asleep. You do not need to take your phone into your bedroom. If you're one of those people that uses your phone as an alarm, that's even better. Charge it in the other room, because when you have to get out of bed, walk into the other room and turn the phone off, you're not going to hit snooze. Don't snooze. Just set your time for when you need to wake up at that time. The other reason I don't want your phone in your bedroom is, there's no reason that you need to be checking text at 2 o'clock in the morning. And you don't need to wake up first thing in the morning and pull up Huffington Post or CNN. Give yourself time, do the 10-10-10, and do your hard work in the morning. The first 90 minutes that you're completely awake, you have the best potential to solve hard problems and do creative thinking. So don't waste that time watching CNN or scrolling through crazy news. Use that time to be mindful and do the hard things first. I've created a morning routine that's going to help you. If you turn to page, and of course my Q&A slide is right on top of it. I think it's page 19 in your journal. We've got a morning routine. If it's not, my apologies. The Q&A panel is right over where I put slides. It might be slide 9 or 19. This is your morning routine, and there's a morning and an evening routine. And what we define, what we measure is what's going to get done. So I've added the 10-10-10, and the rest of the morning is yours. Many people have an exercise habit that they do, whether it's bike, going to the gym. They might have a different routine, but work your 10-10-10 in. Definitely don't stop Some people, I've got a good friend, Ollie. Ollie's the O in the Oak Journal, and he starts every morning with a bike ride, and that is his church. And I would never say that he needs to change that routine to get the 10-10-10, but he should either do it before or after the bike ride. Next thing that I do, and I think it would be great for everybody, drink a pint glass of water first thing in the morning with lemon juice. That's going to help just rejuvenate your cells, start your body off good. I know we're all going right to coffee right after that, but we want to make sure we set our bodies up to success all night long. Our body's been trying to reset and cleanse ourselves out, and then the first thing most of us do is just put a chemical right back in our body. So, take that first few minutes and just have a big glass of water. And then morning movement is something that I do, whether that's yoga, a walk, a run, jump rope. It's evolved a little bit into stuff that I can just do in my house now. So I've got a couple bands and a new jump rope, but you can do things to be active in your house. The last thing I do is shower and dress for the day. And I know I need to complete this at 7 a.m. It takes 90 minutes. So I need to start this at 5:30 in the morning. So what I'd like everybody to do, post this, just put a little earmark in there in your journal. If you haven't received your journal yet, please make sure you email me. Oak and US West are providing a journal to everybody that's on this call. So we definitely like to get that shipped out to you. Just email me at keith@oakjournal.com and we'll make sure we get that shipped out to you today. If you do have your journal, go ahead and earmark this. I'd like you to define your morning routine. And in the box below that, you're also going to define your evening routine. So whether that's meditation, even just making sure you floss your teeth every single night. What gets measured gets done. So let's make sure we put these things in place here. Oh. All right, Ikigai. So this is something that I think we all can take a deep look in this time and determine who we're going to be post-COVID. I think this is going to be similar to those of you that are my age. It would be like Mad Max, the before times. I think pre-COVID is just a different world they're going to be living in. And post-COVID, we all have an opportunity to emerge from this evolved, going through some metamorphosis, and ideally emerging stronger, better, happier. I understand that everybody has challenges that we're going through now, and these techniques, the morning routine, the meditation, those are going to help reduce your stress and be able to perform. And I want you to be introspective in the next 30 days and try to find your ikigai. Ikigai is my favorite word. Ikigai is a Japanese word. It's actually two words. It means life's purpose. And in Japan, they believe that if you find your ikigai, you found your reason for being. And it's one of the reasons that they attribute the reason why they have so many centurions living in Japan. If they have a full life, they never stop working, they have a purpose, and it's center of what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you are good at. And most of us probably live in the profession, what you're good at and what you could be paid for. Maybe some of us have a vocation, what the world needs and what we could be paid for. Many people, I think Mother Teresa, she had a mission. It's what she loved and it's what the world needs, but it wasn't something that she could be compensated for. So finding your ikigai is really finding the center of love, needs, paid for, and what you are good at. And again, this is your reason for being. This is what you do to live a healthy life. It's not always what your current business is, and I think that's a big challenge for many EOers is trying to look at their personal ikigai through the lens or the filter of their existing business. I'll take myself as a great example. I've had my EO business is a creative agency. We've been around for 22 years called Zenman. It's a well-established agency. Some of our clients are like Frontier Airlines, Mitsubishi, the Lumineers, and I'm very good at it and I can be compensated really well for it, but it's not my ikigai. It's not my life's purpose. My personal why is through kindness, generosity, and spirituality to help others be the best version of themselves. So being able to share this workshop with you today is truly my ikigai. I think this is a really important quote for where we are right now. Character is the ability to carry out a good resolution after the excitement of the moment has passed. I don't know how many of us make New Year's resolutions that within a week, 2 weeks, a month have just gone to the wayside. But character is what sticks. That's actually the ability to follow through with those resolutions and do the hard work, whether it's a physical activity, whether it's a diet, losing weight, reading books, any goal that you have. It's character that's going to determine whether or not you accomplish that goal or not. I have an exercise that's going to help all of us build our character and our willpower and discipline. I've always used this exercise from Don Diapani, but I think now it's even more poignant because we're living in our homes. We're not leaving and going to the office. So the exercise in building your willpower is, for the next 30 days, I challenge everybody on this call to make your bed every day. But when you make your bed, I want you to finish it. I want you to finish it well beyond your expectations, no matter how long it takes. And I want you to do a little more than you think you can do. So easy the first few days, no big deal, make your bed. You will be amazed at how much this actually helps your psyche. It's a quick win in the morning. Your house is clean, you're ready for the day, but definitely make sure to make your bed every morning for 30 days. I'm going to challenge you with an accountability partner later so you can see if you're doing this. And I'd love to see photos of people. If you do this for 30 days, that would be amazing. I can tell you personally, it's a challenge. I am a bachelor. I have 2 pillows, a sheet, and 1 blanket. So it's pretty challenging to make your bed a little bit better every single day. But for the next 30 days, try to make your bed a little bit better. Next, I want to talk about goal setting. So I think we have a very unique opportunity for the next 30, 60, or 90 days to really set some smart goals that are going to help you define who you could be. Sorry, I got a quick message. So with goal setting, I want you to turn to page 12 in your journal, and we're going to set your first 90-day goal. These 90-day goals align with traction. So any of you that are an EOS company, definitely let us know how we can help with that. But this aligns with EOS. We set 90-day goals because as humans, we have about a 3-month attention span. As entrepreneurs, we probably have less than that. We also, with this tool, we're going to help you create a roadmap for success. So it's one thing to just say, hey, I'm going to accomplish this. It's another to actually write down the steps to accomplish it. And by writing down the steps to accomplish your goal, you've actually doubled the probability of accomplishing that goal. We're going to define success and visualize it, and we're going to review that weekly. Somebody has raised their hand. Hold on one second. I cannot see who raised their hand. Let me get through this one slide, and then I will get back to you. Give me 1 second. Or actually, do me a favor. If you raised your hand, will you just answer a question? I can see the Q&A on the slide, but I can't see raised hands. Thank you. The other thing that we're going to do, going back to setting 90-day goals, is every week we've got a retrospective. So we're going to review our progress. And essentially, we're going to align our daily MITs, which stands for most important things, to be with your 90-day goals. And what's possible if you do this? Well, my first 90-day goal was to fill my bucket list of doing stand-up comedy. It's something that I'd always wanted to do. I had an opportunity when I was about 22 to do stand-up. I promptly lost it because I was terrified about it. Through EO last year, I had an opportunity to do the CEO stand-up challenge. And so I signed up and said, I'm going to do it. The first thing I did to make a commitment to it is I put it out to the world. I said, hey, I am going to start working towards this goal. Oh, Sadie just let us know page 12 is the second 90-day goal. Yes, you can use page 11. Thank you very much, Sadie. It's the first 90-day goal. And when you're setting these 90-day goals, Sadie, that's a great question. I want you to set 1 business, 1 personal, and 1 family. Don't set 3 business goals, even though we could absolutely be wanting to do that based on the current situation. But like we all know in EO, we're a 3-legged stool. We've got business, personal, and family. And if one of those legs is uneven, it's not going to be able to. So your first 90-day goal on page 11 should be business, page 12, personal, and page 13 would be your family goal. So my goal was to do stand-up comedy. If you look at the strategy and prioritization, I figured out a roadmap of how I need to accomplish this. I found the location, I got a coach, I came up with my 15 minutes of stand-up material, and I practiced until it was dialed in. I had my tasks and responsibilities, the resources that I needed to accomplish this goal, and most importantly, the expected outcome that I could visualize. I like doing keynote speaking. I like doing public speaking. Stand-up comedy is very different. It's terrifying. So I really wanted to visualize what it was going to be like to walk on stage. And in 90 days, I was actually I was able to perform 15 minutes of stand-up at Caroline's in New York City on Broadway. It's the largest, most famous comedy club in the world. And it was an incredible experience. And it was through using this methodical process that I was able to come up with 15 minutes. If anybody on the call has ever tried to do stand-up, 15 minutes is an eternity. So it was really powerful to follow this process. An essential piece in our methodology is the daily progress, or the 20-mile march. If you've read Great by Choice, Jim Collins, you understand Raoul Amundsen's mission for the South Pole. I'll share it with those of you that haven't, but there were 2 expeditions for the South Pole, a Norwegian expedition led by a gentleman, Raoul Amundsen, and then there was a British expedition by Robert Falcon Scott. They set off at the same time, but there was one key difference in these 2 explorers. Raoul, every day, they tried to march 20 miles, no matter what the conditions, no matter how bad the weather was or what was going on, they would pack up camp and they would try to march 20 miles to make progress towards the South Pole. Now, did they make 20 miles every day? No. Sometimes they might have only made it a mile or 2 miles in horrific conditions, but they made progress. And some days they would make it further. The British would actually try to hunker down when conditions were bad. When conditions were prime, they would try to march 50 miles. The end result, if you don't know what happened, Raoul ended up reaching the South Pole, I believe 3.5 weeks before the British, who tragically perished on their return from the South Pole. So it's really that daily progress that we could do to continue to make sure we make it towards our goal. And first things first, I mentioned that the first 90 minutes that you're awake is 90 minutes that you're fully awake. Sorry, not just wake up, but the first 90 minutes you're fully awake. So you've done your 10-10-10. Megan, you've gone for your bike ride, you got your shower, your coffee, and now you're ready to jam. That is not the time to turn on CNN or scroll through Reddit. That is the time to solve your hard problems. Those first 90 minutes that you're completely awake is the most focused, the best creative thinking, and it's going to allow you to do your best work. Don't save the hard stuff for in the afternoon where you're going to be fatigued. I have a technique that's going to help you with your calendar. This is called the 3-2-1-0. I do this twice a day for my email. I used to leave my email inbox like a to-do list, and inevitably it would just have hundreds of read but actionable emails that I needed to respond to, and eventually they become outdated. I wasn't being on task. So what I've developed is the 3-2-1-0. So for 30 minutes, the first one, 30 minutes, twice a day, you're going to read your email. Each email you're only going to read once until you have 0 inbox. So how are you going to do that? You're going to go through your inbox. If you read an email, if you need to take action, if you can take action immediately, just respond to that email. If it's something you need to schedule, put that email in a folder and schedule time on your calendar to complete that task, and make sure that you get down to 0 inbox by doing this twice a day. It should only take 30 minutes. Now, the first time, if you've got a really overwhelmed email, Mindy, if you're on this call, I know on hers, she has over 100,000 unread spam emails. This is a pretty overwhelming task, but if you can get it down, I can promise you having 0 inbox is one of the most relieving things that you can do for your stress, especially in this time. So next, I want you to turn to page, I believe it's 26, and that is the first day. So once you've set your business, personal, and family goals, this is the methodology as to how we're going to accomplish these goals in 90 days. So the nice thing about the journal is you don't have to wait till the first of the month or the first of a quarter, January 1. Today is day 1, week 1. So in the top left there, you write April 15th, 2020, you circle Monday. And then we start our day with gratitude. So I've got the 3 things that I'm grateful for. This morning, I am incredibly grateful to share Oak with US West. I am grateful for getting to spend time with Anthony yesterday. And I'm looking forward to presenting at Nerve 2020, which I don't know if it's going to happen or not. My vision for today is inspire the US West to be the best version of themselves. This morning, my 3 most important things I needed to do. I needed to review this keynote. I wanted to record a just-in-case version in case we had some issues and you couldn't deliver this. I would be able to just send you a link to YouTube so you could watch this fail-safe. And it's one of the things I could control so that I wasn't stressed about too many people streaming Tiger King and having a bad experience for everybody here. And the last one is I wanted to deliver a breakthrough keynote that's going to inspire US West to be the best version of yourselves. The reason that I have a calendar under today at a glance is so I can put the things in that I need to accomplish. We're going to end our day with gratitude. So that's the last thing, the evening gratitude. And then on the right-hand side of the page, along the top, we've got our little check boxes. So we get our dopamine, our wins. I did my 10-10-10. I'm tracking my habits. I did my morning and my evening routine. We've thrown an inspirational quote up there. I would actually really recommend you read that every day. It even amazes me still to this point how many times the quote that's on that certain day is so poignant to the situation that you're currently in. Yes, Macy, I will go back through the 3210 email methodology again. Thank you. If anybody's asking questions, please do it in the Q&A and I will make sure that happens. In fact, Macy, let's just do the 321 again right now. So it's 30 minutes a day, twice a day. You only read an email one time and you get your inbox down to 0. And the way you do that is in that 30 minutes, twice a day, only read the email once. If you need to respond, respond immediately. Don't wait till later. If it's something that needs to be delegated, immediately delegate that to somebody and then archive that, put it in a folder. If it's something that's going to take more time to complete, then give yourself a to-do. Actually, it's a great place to ask this question, Macy, because this is exactly where you would do it. At the today in a glance, if I had an email that say there was a 30-minute report that I had to generate to respond to that email, I would actually put that time on my calendar. The reason most people's to-do lists don't get to done is we don't give ourselves the time to actually be successful. So by allocating the time in the day to accomplish our tasks, we make sure we complete 100% of what we need to do. I thought the journaling time was for daily documentation. It's for free flow when you fit in a day, planning and tracking. Relina just asked a question. She thought journaling time was for daily documentation, but it seems like journaling is more free flow. When do you fit in your day, the planning and tracking, etc.? So the first thing that I do, Relina, is I do my morning gratitude. I do my vision for the day. Your vision for the day is something that we took from Benjamin Franklin. Every morning before he put his feet on the floor, he would determine what good will I do this day. He would ask himself and answer that question. And then the 3 most important things align with your 3 goals that you set in the beginning. So what I do as far as allocating what I'm going to do or sort of prioritizing and planning for the day, I do that first thing every morning with my gratitude all the way through sort of exactly how this is filled out. You'll notice the back of the journal. One thing that drove me crazy with all the other journals on the marketplace was there wasn't enough paper that I could actually do my free flow journaling. So in the back of the journal, you've got about 60 pages of just grid paper that you can take notes for specific meetings, or you can do your free flow journaling. And the other thing that I tried to do in this model is you've got a page on the left-hand side, you've got sort of your tracking, what's going on, your tasks. And then the right-hand side is doodles, notes, task list, whatever you need to do, notes from a phone call. Okay, so that is your daily routine. You do that for 7 days, every single day. One thing to be very mindful of, you might not be able to do every single day, right? Sometimes it is, you just miss, it happens. There's stuff that comes up. I don't do my evening gratitude. The day was crazy and I didn't do Tuesday. Don't be hard on yourself. Just do the 2X rule. Make sure that you never go 2 days without doing it. So if you miss Tuesday, pick it back up on Wednesday and take that time to get back in the zone. You'll really be amazed if you follow this process, what can be accomplished. We designed this originally for entrepreneurs and high performers, people that wanted to scale their businesses or that were using traction. And we've actually found through some testimonials, people have transformed their lives. They've lost 60 pounds in a year. They've found new careers. They've been able to resolve personal issues. It's pretty amazing what's actually happened, and I'm really, really excited to share this with everybody. Okay, so with your calendar, I know everybody's going a little bit stir crazy. We've all got cabin fever. We're locked in our house. So this is what I want you to do to try to break that up. Focus time and then a break. So when you sit down at your computer, set a timer, whether it's your phone or if you've got a cool hourglass, just something to say, okay, I'm going to focus for 15 minutes or I'm going to focus for 40 minutes. And when you do that, turn your phone off, turn your email off, turn all of your alerts off, and actually be present, mindful, and focused on the task at hand. And when you complete that task, give yourself a break. Walk around the backyard, go for a walk, do push-ups, have a cup of tea, do something to give yourself a reward. And then after that, go back and get back into a focus time. If you do this a few times throughout the day, you'll be amazed at how much you will accomplish. Most people are busy, but not productive. I think if you're really focused on being productive versus just busy, you can accomplish so much more. What I would like you to do, and this is a little bit challenging because we're not all in a room together, but I'd like you to find an accountability partner. So normally this is the time where we all point to each other and we pick an accountability partner. It doesn't have to be somebody on this call. The only thing I would advocate for is it's probably not your spouse or your relationship partner. You don't want to be writing them saying, hey, you didn't do your sit-ups or you're not losing weight like you said you were going to be doing. But find an accountability partner. And when you have your partner, what I want you to do is the screen that we just showed, this screen right here, I want you to take a picture of your morning gratitude, vision for the day, your three most important things and calendar. And I want you to text it to your accountability partner. And you're going to do that for 30 days. So day one is going to be April 15th, 2020, and what you're going to do. And then tomorrow, you're going to take two photographs. You're going to take another photograph of April 15th, and hopefully you've done your evening gratitude and you've checked off your MITs and all your tasks. If you haven't, honor system, please be truthful and just circle those as fossils that need to get taken care of the next day, and also take a picture of the following day. So we know this is what I did yesterday, this is what I'm committing to today. And accountability partners actually take the time to read what your accountability partner is doing. They might have a really important meeting. There might even be a way that you could help them with a business challenge or a task that they have that day. And that connection, especially in this time of self-isolation, is incredibly powerful. All right, self-sabotage. So we all do this even in good times, but in bad times or challenging times like we're currently facing, this could be catastrophic. And self-sabotage could be anything from starting to eat really unhealthy because you're at home all the time, or overspending online, binge shopping. It could be drugs or alcohol. You know, what are the things that you do that are going to derail you from being the best version of yourself? Usually there are some triggers, things that you can identify that you're personally doing. They're going to let you know, hey, this is something that's leading me down the wrong path. I want to curb this behavior. This is a great thing to identify with your accountability partner. Hey, if you see me, starting to do X, please throw the flag and let me know I'm self-sabotaging. The last thing we want to do in this time is make it hard for us to accomplish and be the best version of ourselves. Positive psychology. So at the end of every week in the journal, there's a different exercise for you to do. And I really think it'll be rejuvenative and inspirational in this time. There's one that's really powerful that I want us to do right now, and that's the 4 sevens. So if you would just take a moment and turn to page 137 in your journal. And while you're turning there, I'll tell you about the 4 sevens exercise. I think this is really poignant based on where we are today. The 4 sevens is a gift to help us understand what really matters in life. So we have 4 buckets. The first bucket at the top is, what would you do? We're going to take about 1 minute to fill this out. What would you do if you knew today you have 7 years left to live? 7 years from today, April 15th, 2027, you are going to leave this earth. So just take a minute and write down a bullet of what are the things that you still want to accomplish. Is there a book that you want to write? Have you been to Kauai? Did you want to hike the Grand Canyon? What are the things that really matter to you? Let's take a moment and write those, please. Once you have a couple bullets under the year, we're going to focus in a little bit more. Now we've got 7 months left. So November 15th, 2020 is your last day on earth. What needs to happen? What matters? What are your priorities? What are you going to make sure you do in the next 7 months? Remember, if you don't have a journal, just work along in a piece of paper. The team's going to get them out to you right away. Just send me an email and we'll make sure we get this out to you. Once you've got your 7 months, we're going to really distill it down. Now you've got 7 weeks, a little less than 2 months on this planet. What matters to you? And then the final box is 7 days. You have 1 week left on this earth. What matters? What do you want to make sure happens in the next 7 days? While you're finishing out those last few bullets on 7 days, this is a lesson from hospice providers. So the people that are working with those of us that are at the end of our lives. And it's really amazing what is important to people at the end of their life. You're going to see in what you wrote down, but it's not money, it's not fame, it's not really accomplishments. It's family, it's connections, it's quality time, it's friends. One of the reasons that I chose this particular exercise for our workshop today, in the past, when we do the 4 7s, most of the things on the 7 days, the really hard, I got to make sure I do this, these are things we could be doing right now. I think the most common one is have breakfast with my children every single day. What a gift. We can do that right now. I really am looking at this time with my boys as an opportunity to just spend more quality time. Like many of us, I've probably worked too much the last 2 decades. I understand we have a lot going on and we have to manage and make sure that we have a house to come home to, but really try to think about the gift that you have to spend time with your family. There's another exercise on page 105 that's your bucket list. This one's a little challenging now because we probably can't go accomplish all of these, but I do think this is a great motivational exercise to really get you thinking as to what's going to happen post COVID, which is going to happen. So bucket list. Again, this is something that Warren really inspires me from. Those of you who've done the EMP program have seen Warren's bucket list that he carries around in like a Ziploc bag that I think he wrote it when he was 13 years old, which means it's like 182 years old, and deteriorating. But when he was 13, he wrote 100 items that he was going to accomplish in his life. And it's pretty incredible. If you look at his bucket list, he has 98 of 100. And the two that Warren hasn't accomplished are to be president of the United States, which I'm sure everybody would really advocate for at this point. And the second is to see every country in the world, visit every country in the world, which has just changed. And he's basically given up on that one due to safety. But not now, but take the time. This is a great one to do maybe this weekend. This is a wonderful exercise to do with your family. What are the bucket list family things that you want to accomplish before your kids leave the nest so that you create those lifetime memories? So the bright side, we can definitely look at the end of this and what are we going to be when we emerge from COVID? Within a month or so, they'll start to be very incremental rolling, um, uh, rollouts of sort of going back to opening our economy. The truth is, I don't think we'll be back to normal until post a vaccine, which unfortunately might be 2022. So there's going to be a new world order. But look at the things that you can take from this that are positive. Do you have a change in your workforce that's going to make you more profitable in the future? Even if it's just, I get to have breakfast with my kids every day. I understand, I think I heard there's a probability of like 30% of people, small business could go under, which is terrifying. But it's also an opportunity to reinvent ourselves. Many EOers are thriving at this time, and some are looking at opportunities as to how we can pivot and also how we can lean on each other. We're very fortunate that we have this community. I think some of the financial advice and the loans and the different things, tips that I'm getting from being in EO and just the WhatsApp and the different groups are truly amazing. So we're all blessed to have this network, this community, this tribe that we can lean on. We have each other. We have technology. Imagine if this would have happened, even just 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We're not having this video conference, or if we are, it's probably crappy and it's going to cost me a fortune. You can't just FaceTime with somebody and have a happy hour at 4 o'clock and set your iPhone up and have a glass of wine. So we're really fortunate that we actually have some tools to help keep us connected in this time. So I know it's hard to look at the bright side, but it's really powerful. I wasn't going to share a story, but I'm going to share a story with you really quick. When I was, those of you that don't know me, I have a degree in undersea photography from Brooks Institute of Photography in Santa Barbara. That art school was back when having a degree meant something from art school. I think 60 people started in my class, 12 people graduated. it was not uncommon that we cried in our critiques or our design reviews because teachers would literally tear your work off the board and throw it back at you if it wasn't done correctly. But when we finished Brooks, I was able to get a job working for the top automotive photographer in the world. I had a choice to either go work in New York with Andy Leibovich, which is an amazing opportunity, or Southern California with a gentleman named Vic Huber, who was at the time the top car photographer in the world. And we got to work on, Formula One car tracks. We got to do Land Rover shoots with live rhinoceroses or, a full-grown male lion once. And something happened that really made me think about the story, similar to what many of you are experiencing right now with your business, which was out of my control. I was working for Vic. I'd been working for him for about 2 years. There were a line of hundreds of people that wanted my job. There's a hierarchy as a photo assistant. There's the first assistant that's sort of the right hand, second, third, fourth, fifth, depending on how big the production is, would dictate how many assistants you had. And with Vic Studio, you would be curated. After you're the first assistant for about 2 years, he would make you an associate photographer. You had access to all of his gear. You had your own rep that worked full-time for Vic. It was really an incredible opportunity. And I worked my way up, busted my ass, literally 16 hours a day, 28 days a month for 2 years. And one day we were working on a shoot for Acura. And many of the shots that you see where there's a car sort of moving and the background is blurred and it looks like the car is really hauling around a corner, most of those are not even an actual corner. What we would do is go to an airport, or in this particular day, we went to the San Bernardino Police Training Facility, where they would show them how to sort of whip their cars around and do some cool driving. And what we would do is actually lay down road tape, scaffolding with dirt, sod, different trees, and we would create this facade of a mountain road, and then the perfect pavement, and we would push the car actually with scaffolding built on it to have that slow blur, and then they would remove the assistance from the photo. And after we wrapped that Acura shoot, I was in the motorhome about to drive it back to Vic's studio, and the producer came in at the time, and he said, "Hey, let's smoke a joint." And I thought, well, that's probably not a good idea. But Vic's still right there. We're in a police facility. I don't think that's a good idea. And you can probably tell by looking at me, I do inhale. But this particular instance, I thought this was a really stupid thing. I'm not going to do it. But the producer disagreed. He lit a joint. And literally the second he lit it, I saw the brake lights in Vic's Range Rover and then the reverse lights. And he turned around, he started driving back up to the motorhome. Opened the door, and Vic wanted a pack of hot tamales and a bottle of water for his drive back to Laguna. He smelled what Steve was doing, and that was my last day working at my dream job. It was devastating. I was heartbroken. It was something that happened that was totally out of my control. I had wanted to be a photographer since I was 13 years old. I had went to the best school in the world, and I had busted my ass to get there. And in 1 minute, just like many of us with COVID, the world was turned upside down and everything changed. Buddhist, I do believe everything happens for a reason, but I can tell you at that moment, it was really hard to find a light, something to keep me inspired and working towards my goals. I had to repivot. I had to do everything. And the truth is, I'm so fortunate that that happened then, because that studio no longer exists. The entire industry has changed. Most of the automotive photography is done in CGI now. And Vic now is still a great photographer, but his studio has shrunk back considerably. So it's hard in the moment to look through all of the hard things that are presenting to us, but I promise you there's a bright side at the end of this. I want you to watch a video from a gentleman, Brother David Stein, who's the Dalai Lama's mentor, on gratitude.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now. And the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. All that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. Turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. A gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you. That everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. Then it will really be a good day.
I have one story I'm going to leave you with, and then I'll open it up for questions. And it's the fable of the tiger and the strawberry. So the tiger and the strawberry goes that there's a monk walking along a path, and as he looks up, he sees this man-eating tiger facing him. And as he starts to back away from the tiger, he backs off the trail, and he finds himself on the edge of a cliff. He looks down, and there's a single vine. So the monk starts climbing down this vine with the tiger above him. As he gets about halfway down, he sees two tigers pacing below. So the monk is stopped in the middle. He's clinging to this vine, two tigers below, certain death above. And as he's sitting there, he sees a white mouse and a black mouse come out of a crevice, and they start pecking away at the vine, eating away at this vine that he's clinging to for life. And as the white mouse and the black mouse are eating away at the vine, he sees a strawberry. And it is the most ripe, perfect strawberry he's ever seen. He pulls it from the vine, plucks it in his mouth, and it is a perfect experience. Now, I believe the moral of the story is that the white mouse is the future and that the black mouse is the past, but the strawberry is the present moment. And too many of us are focused on the future or the past, and we're not enjoying that perfect ripe strawberry. So my challenge for all of you is, who will you be post-COVID? I think all of us can emerge from this a better version of ourselves, more connected with our family, and more connected as a community. I'm going to stop the presentation and open it up for any questions at this time. The one thing that I did want to make sure, anybody that has not provided their address, please provide your address to me at keith@oakjournal.com, and we'll make sure a journal gets sent out to you today, so that you have that to work along with everything we've done. There's also 2 additional workshops. It's not too late. If there's somebody in EO and US West that you think would have value from this, please definitely share the link with them so they can register via Eventbrite. If it gets sold out, let me know. I'm happy to open it up for more people. The more people that could do this, the better. And I will also post a recording of this. Feel free to share this with your family, with anybody, any way that we can help through this would be incredible. Oh, okay. I've just got a couple of questions. If anybody has any questions, just raise your hand. Let's see, one hand up. So first question, can you talk about the unpredictability and inability to be regimented? Many of us have kids at home, and while I'd love to follow this process, I'm getting torn away. I'm working 100 times a day conservatively. Maybe someone is hungry, maybe kids are fighting, I need to find a toy. How do I stay or achieve this flow mind space? That's a really good question. Thank you so much for asking it, Anna. So what I would do there, you have to be a little bit more disciplined, but also have that discipline with your children. When my kids were younger, and I still do it with my youngest today, my evening meditation, I practice transcendental meditation. I had to do that meditation after I read books with them while they were sitting in bed with me until they fell asleep. And many times I would actually just fall asleep out of exhaustion with them, but I did get in my evening meditation. The morning meditation, this one's a little bit easier. If you don't have time to do your 10-10-10, you have to wake up 30 minutes earlier. I know that's really challenging. Or if there's something you can do with your kids with that time, if you could create a routine so that they have something that they're doing at that time that is not an iPad or a screen that we just sort of disengage them with. So understand the challenge for sure. If you have a partner, that might be something that you alternate with as well. Are weekends a break from this? Weekends are not a break. You just have different priorities. So if you don't do Saturday or Sunday, like I said, it's not the end of the world if you don't do every single day for 12 full weeks. But what you do on the weekend might be different. What your tasks might be much more focused on creating those family or personal experiences. But you do still want to be productive, be happy, and be creative on the weekend. Thank you, Eden. That was a nice comment. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next 2 sessions. Yes. So there are 2 sessions. This is a question from Craig. There are 2 more sessions at the same time. You should have all received an invite to those Zoom meetings, Zoom webinars via a calendar invite. We do still have space available. So anybody that wants to register for the next 2 sessions, I'll make sure they get a copy of the journal in time. And we can also share this recording of this with them so they can absolutely join us on this journey. If you want to get additional journals, this was a question Jennifer asked. We've actually created, US West partnered with Oak, so we discounted it significantly, and US West bought the first 200 journals for our members, which was incredibly generous of them. We've also created a coupon code US West on the Oak Journal website. So anything that you order through there, we've got a coupon code for you to be able to get additional journals. For meditation, what do I think of Headspace or other apps? I love those. I personally practice transcendental meditation. I think on the 2nd or 3rd session, I might break my vows and actually teach everybody TM. TM is the most scientifically proven meditation for reducing stress. And I think about 75% of the scientific studies on meditation are done on TM. That being said, any meditation is better than no meditation. So Calm, Headspace, amazing. Transcendental meditation is a mantra-based meditation where you get a mantra minus Sharain. just broke my vow, but you can Google it. I think there's only 17 meditation or mantras that you can have, and definitely get you get the one based on your age and your sex. And your mantra really doesn't matter. Sha rain could be ice cream. When you're meditating, that you just repeat that mantra in your mind, and it helps you. It helps your brain relax. It helps your brain get to that transcended state. The reason that so many people struggle with meditation, they're prescribed like a contemplative or a concentrative meditation. Quieting your mind is impossible. Thoughts enter our mind. That's what happens. So we need to make sure we set ourselves up for success. I love Calm. I love Headspace or any of those apps. Just a matter of doing it. I'm noticing that I'm afraid to write in the journal. Something about the permanence of pen. This is a question from Rachel. And not having clarity around my goals yet. How can you use the journal as a tool to discover instead of just tracking? That's a great question, Rachel. I would say jump ahead to that Ikigai one and actually maybe make your goal for the first week that you're just coming up with your 90-day goals. Start the journal. Don't worry about not having your goals. I have a friend that just started, Tom, from my EMP class. He got his journal 18 months ago. He just gave me a video testimonial. It's been life-changing for him, but he had that same analysis paralysis and waited 1.5 years before he dug in. Don't do that. The nice thing about journaling is it's not a finite resource. We're not going to run out of journals, and you don't need to have this exact journal. You could absolutely practice this with pen and paper and be good to go. I do advocate that you're writing versus typing. There's an emotion and a commitment that's transferred when you put pen to paper versus just typing something in. Wonderful. Does anybody have any other questions? Raise your hand or type a question in. If not, thank you all again for joining. It was an honor to share this with you. Again, please share this with all of your friends, anybody in EO that you think would get value. There's 2 additional workshops. We've got additional journals available to send out at no cost to everybody. And just really, really honored to be able to share this with you all. So thank you all. Stay safe and have a wonderful day. Oh, what is the movie I played? There was one last question. The video was on YouTube. It was, if you Google or just put in YouTube, Gratitude, Brother David Stein. This gentleman is amazing. He is actually the Dalai Lama's mentor. He's got a series of amazing videos, but the gratitude video is really powerful. It's one I try to share with my kids a couple times a week and personally try to watch at least once a week. Thank you all again for your time. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.